I love the tagline they use for Black Ballad because this is a DM's wet dream is to kill off your party when they don't listen. And so the tagline is for the party that never listens.
I'm here with Brian Fitzpatrick, who fantasy novelist, sci-fi novelist, all kinds of novels, and horror. You and I have one similar origin story. Uh, Both saw Night of the Living Dead way too young.
Indeed.
And
Yes.
what did that do to you?
It delivered this psycho you see before you. At 7 years old, accidentally watched it. Mom was asleep on the couch. The TV was on. That came on, and I couldn't look away, even though it absolutely terrified me, as I'm sure it did you. And I think after about a week of nightmare-fueled nights, Mom finally said, "Hey, why don't you try writing your own scary story?" I think she wanted me to get over this. And I did. I took her up on it and I wrote my own story. And I think it involved vampires. I'm not sure. But needless to say, I've been creating stories ever since.
Okay, that's very cool. I wish I had figured out that I could write my way out of those nightmares.
Right.
So, well, we're here, talking. We met at WonderCon this year,
Yes,
and one of those. That's what I love about the con scene. We have many friends in common,
we
and
really do.
yeah, and you have a new book out called "To Slay a God,"
Yes.
and it is part of a D&D. I don't need, are we even saying it's D&D anymore because everybody's so mad at Wizards of the Coast?
It's 5e compatible, they say, and so they do throw
Okay.
D&D in there when they want to. But it is a game campaign. I just say D&D because that's the most commonly known tabletop
Yeah.
RPG, and it is based on the Black Ballad RPG.
Which you also, I mean, you wrote a lot of the Black Ballad RPG too, right?
No, actually, I came on board once the Black Ballad had been released. They brought me in, they invited me to write a novel set in this afterlife that they'd created. However, they did hire me on to write in book two that is coming up. So I will be a staff writer on the second Black Ballad book that is going to happen probably later this year.
Okay, excellent. So for those who don't know, and I'm wearing about the extent of my gaming, it's a barrel of monkeys. That's about as good as I get. But my kids are incredible gamers, and kids, they're adults. But it's describe what makes the Black Ballad different from the standard, role playing, or the standard D&D fantasy RPG.
Sure. On the technical side, it was an independent publisher named Storytellers Forge, and they did it as a crowdfunding. And they initially went in wanting, believe it was $25,000 to get the book going, but they blew away the goal. Ended up topping out at like $153,000. So they have all of the add-ons and bonuses and perks and all that. So when a game launched, it was a massive success. Now the cool thing is it is, like I said, it is set entirely in an afterlife world that they created called the Sunless Crossing. And in there, the adventure part is they've got new races, new spells, new magic, new adventures. It is like a whole game. I think the thing tops out at like 330 pages long. It's huge. And so it's ripe for fiction. And that's when they approached four authors and invited them to write their own story set in that cool world. I love the tagline they use for Black Ballad because this is a DM's wet dream is to kill off your party when they don't listen. And so the tagline is for the party that never listens.
So let's focus on To Slay a God, your novel. What can someone expect in that?
I wanted to set up this is actually even though I played D&D my whole youth, I had never written in fantasy. I'm on science fiction, horror, and I pretty much do all that. But for this, I wanted to capture the feel of playing Dungeons and Dragons when you're sitting around the table with your friends. The adventure has always got high stakes and lots of battles and lots of cool shit, but it always descends into laughter. We always, with your friends, you're always goofing off, you're laughing while you're playing. And so, even though this book has all the stakes. It's got lots of bloody action, lots of cool characters, and lots of cool twists. But I threw in a lot of laughs, lots of jokes, lots of humor to lighten things up. I want the reader to feel like they've been playing Dungeons and Dragons with their buddies.
Cool. And that to slay a god, you have the cover and you managed to kind of get it into focus. So let's see if we can. I mean, I know I will
Give it a
use.
shot.
Oh, okay. Put it in front of your face. Go ahead. Go ahead. Because it's foot. Uh, you can tell we're writers, not
Yeah,
working visually.
we are not tech people. What is wrong?
All right. You know what?
Anyway,
I'll put an overlay.
yeah.
So
Ah.
we'll fix it in post. I
We'll
don't know what that
fix.
really means.
We
But
will fix it in post.
yes. So, and you said you're working on the next incarnate version or next chapter in the RPG game. What else have you got in the hopper?
So I just well, I've got a science fiction novel trilogy called MECHCRAFT, MECHCRAFT, and that was with a different publisher, and that has gone bestseller multiple times. Whenever they do a little promo, it goes bestseller on Amazon. But they have asked for more, and so this is I'm entering that realm now, thinking, okay, it's time for another trilogy for MECHCRAFT, which is basically sentient liquid nanotech that is embedded inside of certain people where they telepathically communicate with their host, and the host can summon this liquid metal through their skin and create any kind of item, weapon, tool, anything that they can imagine. So in your mind's eye, picture the liquid chrome metal from Terminator 2 coming out of someone's hand and levitating and becoming a sword or a gun or a vehicle, even if they have the skill. And that storyline has a secret society of scientists who couldn't agree on how best to use it, and they went to war with each other. And our hero enters this as a teenager whose MECHCRAFT has activated inside of him, and everyone feels because he's the first ever born with the technology already in him. He will be a game changer. He will be a wild card, and his powers will be different. And each of these three factions fight to control him to win the war. And that's, in a nutshell, that's what MECHCRAFT was. And that is currently being shopped around by my manager, as well as a sci-fi horror script that I have. So I got a lot of things going on. I'm trying to navigate this world of screenwriting and novel writing.
Yeah, and for anybody who is writing and not yet sold anything, I think you are a perfect example right now of you have to have your hand in many different pots. Like my youngest is trying to be a video game writer, and I said, don't just focus on that.
Mhm.
If you're there, beyond. I am curious. You said it's like trilogy upon trilogy, and I have a friend who just wrote a trilogy of plays, and now he's had to change the title. It's no longer the Four Color Trilogy; it's just the Four Color Plays because he keeps adding.
Oh,
So, do
yes.
you plot as trilogies, or why is that the perfect form for selling books right now?
I know that publishers, the several that I've spoken with, my own, I have two different ones for these different projects. They all want trilogies because from the business standpoint, it's just good business, more money for them. People love trilogies, and for whatever reason, standalones just don't sell like they used to. I think the trilogy on a creative level comes way back from the Greeks who created the three act structure. To me, a trilogy is like a big three act structure. Book one sets it up, book two is the middle, and then book three, typically concludes it all. And of course, there's three acts within each of those books typically. But I think there's a natural, innate draw for humans to go towards trilogies or things in threes. I also think there's a one that goes in three and sets of five, but not to as large a degree.
We would call that not a
When
Pentateuch. That's a holy text. Pentology.
I would, I like that.
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't know
just
for
saying.
sure, but I
Look,
like that.
this is really cool. To slay a god, that cover looks great. I love the concept of everything. As I said,
Thank
I
you.
wish I were a better role player, because that's the kind of game, the kind of twist that it's like, oh yeah, I'd be totally into it. So I wish you the best of luck with this. And if you are a Family Planet watcher, maybe you consider to slay a god, or I mean, because it's going to tie in, pick up the Black Ballad, which
Yes.
came with a deck of cards too, right? That's what I bought, and
Yes. You got the
so.
special edition that came with like a game board, and it came with a map, and it came with character sheets and a deck of cards called Purgatory Poker. that they have in the in game, and so you get to play it in real life.
I'm going to say it's hard to impress the child that I call Kid Macaw because they used to be on the podcast. Um, but when they saw that board, they were like, "Ooh!" So I
Yeah,
rarely get excitement from my child, and that got them excited. So
nice.
thank you for that.
Thanks for watching. Please hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any Fanboy Planet video content. And be sure to visit the website, fanboyplanet.com, for additional features, including interviews and reviews. And of course, episodes of the Fanboy Planet podcast. Remember, use your powers for good.